That was a pretty good shot of my leg. Anyway, I actually have a couple of subscribers I'm not related to. This is pretty exciting stuff for me. Anyway, I was reading some of the comments earlier. Sorry for the bouncing around in video quality. It's on my phone this time, and I'm outside, so I'm hoping that the light and the sound will come through a little bit better than doing it in the living room and on my tablet. If not, we'll go from there. Anyway, I read the comment, and one of the comments pointed out some good things. If this person, Myzam, was able to travel to where we are, who knows how long that they were there before they made contact, and reaching out to the database of mankind known as the internet, I can understand how they would be able to discern the events that would happen the next day, even though, okay, it didn't relate to them directly. Okay, they ran out of interstellar fuel. They were still able to propel themselves locally. They were able to travel around in the neighborhood, but they couldn't go to another state, pretty much. They didn't have interstellar fuel, but they were able to travel around the Earth and to the Moon. I can understand that. I kind of liken that in my mind to impulse power versus warp, in using Star Trek slang. But what I don't get is, out of the hundreds of religions on this planet, why would they know the significance, or why would they even look up the significance of the 23rd of September? Okay, let's take for a moment that they did, okay? And it has a base in Christianity. It has roots in the Bible, I guess. I don't know. But that doesn't mean that every Christian believes that September 23rd would have been the end of the world or heralded the ending of the world. Due to the stars' alignment, how do points in the sky in a specific formation have any basis on what happens on the surface of this rock? I mean, as a calendar, I get it, right? I mean, celestial beings travel and meet up in a certain time in a certain place, and you can mark your calendar by it. It's incredibly accurate. Sailors have known that for years. Farmers have known that for years. And when I mean years, I actually mean hundreds of years, if not thousands of years, or even hundreds of thousands of years. One guy, a numerologist, who is Christian, decided, or I shouldn't say decided, came to the conclusion that September 23rd would herald the end of times. Okay, I'm going to try holding this a little more steady. Sorry for the shaking. Kind of obscure out of the hundreds of millions of Christians on the planet. One in particular said something, and it got a little traction, it got a little wind in the internet. But as the internet as a whole, it's a little far-fetched, I think. With the amount of porn that's on the internet, you would think that they would be inundated with male and female, or at least understand the reproduction of humans. I mean, come on, let's face it. The internet was created so scientists could communicate with each other in real time from one continent to another. And the purpose of the internet these days is to look at cat videos and porn. Kind of a far cry from its origins. They didn't know what a penis was. Myzam. Somebody said something about a penis, and he was like, shaky. They didn't understand how we reproduced. I read the entire thread up until comments that were made this morning because of the Secure Team release of the video. I mean, I understand that. That's how I read it, right? That's what brought my attention to it. I didn't comment on the thread because Myzam had already since long gone. I mean, he showed his departing photograph of Earth as he was leaving. as he was leaving. How did he transmit that signal if he was leaving? Anyway, somebody said, well, I dare you to produce these images undoctored to prove that they were filtered. A very logical question. I thought that was actually really good. My point, I guess, is I know other people have tried Google Earth and Google Moon trying to reproduce the distance, the angle, the clouds. I don't know. Okay, I'm going to admit that right now. I don't know definitively. I presume this to be a hoax because there's just, in my mind, what I see is flaws. Those flaws just could be mine. I mean, if you have a flawed mental model, any results you use from that mental model are going to be flawed. It's just the way it is. One thing that I can't help, I have a gut feeling about this. One way you could have images that aren't reproduced by Google Earth or Google Moon is to produce them yourself. What if a talented coder was able to take a compilation of images and make their own Earth model, place the clouds wherever they want to be, place the camera wherever they want to be at whatever distance, and then put a filter over it so you couldn't tell that the images themselves were coded? I don't have all the answers. I admit that. I ask questions, and I think I ask the right questions. Flawed mental model, though. I mean, the ignorant believe they're correct. Could very well be ignorant. Don't know. Sorry about that. Wife came out. That's what I could do. I could pause every time I need to take a breath or have a thought. Philip DeFranco does that. No, he doesn't pause it when he records it. He edits them out. Anyway. Okay, back again. Married with children, it's never easy to get these sort of things done because life happens. I do think it would be great if this was real. It would be great if my Zam comes back and proves that this is real. One thing I think I am going to check out is the anonymous poster that posted the pictures. They put down, in case you haven't checked out the thread, they put down the coordinates. My Zam traveled there. And with the coordinates, he said, come down low enough for me to see you. And he went outside and took pictures of the sky, and there was a triangular shape with a light at each corner in the sky. Pretty high up there. Well, it's hard to judge height if you don't know the size. You can't judge the height, and vice versa. So I don't know if it was a small thing really close, which I don't think, just because of the amount of blur that there was. It would lead me to believe that it was pretty far up there. If it was pretty far up there, it would lead me to believe that it was a decent size thing. I'm going to put that in through Google search. I'm going to type in the location, and I'm going to hop on MUFON and see if anybody else happened to spot that same thing from that general location, because I think that would be a great way to either validate or invalidate this. Well, lack of information does not necessarily prove that it's false, but more sightings, perhaps more pictures of the same thing, would definitely add validity to this. One way or another, I would like to find out more. So, if you want to join me on my quest for information, please do. The title of my prior video, I think it's either in the description of the video or in the title. There is the link to the 4chan, and you can go through and look at all the pictures and the comments yourself. It is an amusing read, if nothing else, but there is some interesting pictures there that I am going to try to look up. I think we're chasing a red herring. The red herring is being the planet pictures and the moon pictures. I think with the right filter, it would obscure the fact that it's computer generated. I misspoke. It would obscure the possibility of it being computer generated. But if we go about this on the other end, I know it's a pretty popular shape and size of craft given the subject matter. I mean, I'm going to come up with hundreds if not thousands of pictures that look very similar. So that might take me a while. I'm going to hop down that rabbit hole. But if you want to join me on my quest for information, please feel free to do so. Share with me what you learn. I would greatly appreciate it. I love information, whether it proves me right or proves me wrong. I don't care. I have changed my feelings, my thoughts, and the way I think about things when faced with information that is to the contrary of my current train of thought. I don't consider that to be weak-minded. I consider that open-minded. If more people, I think, were that open-minded, I think there would be a lot less problems. At any rate, I have to go now. At any rate, I have to go. Daddy... Stupid phone alerts. I have to go. I have daddy things to take care of before I have work things to take care of. So, I definitely have some homework to do tonight. You do too. This is Paul, and I'll see y'all.